Focus. 47% of adults say they feel unsafe in love, even when they're in a relationship. Strange, isn't it? We crave closeness more than ever, yet half of us fear the very thing we chase. Maybe intimacy isn't soft at all. Maybe it's the most dangerous mirror we stand in front of, the one that reflects every wound we thought we'd outrun. So let's step closer to that mirror and finally decode what it's been trying to show us. You're watching Fruity Wisdom, where deep ideas turn into sharp, life-changing insights. Subscribe and stay curious. Number 1. Attached. Amir, Levine, and Rachel Heller. We begin with the book that cracked open the modern map of intimacy. Attached doesn't just explain our patterns, it exposes them. It shows us why some of us cling like the world is ending, why some of us retreat like closeness is a trap, and why some of us move through love with a quiet, steady ease. But here's the question it dares us to ask. Are we choosing our partners, or are our patterns choosing them for us? Because attachment isn't coincidence, it's conditioning. It's the emotional fingerprint left by the people who first held us, or hurt us, or weren't there at all. And that's the unsettling truth. We don't fall in love with strangers. We fall in love with the familiar. Familiar comfort. Familiar chaos. Familiar wounds. What looks like chemistry is often recognition, a subconscious whisper saying, "I know this feeling, even if it breaks me." The book shines a light on the patterns we mistake for personality. Is the anxious partner needy or simply terrified of being forgotten? Is the avoidant partner independent or silently suffocating in the heat of emotional expectation? Attached reframes it all, not as weakness, not as dysfunction, but as survival strategies sculpted in childhood, still performing their old choreography in adult relationships. And metaphorically, that's what attachment really is, an internal compass calibrated in childhood, still trying to navigate the storms of adult love. So it asks the question many of us avoid. How can we build a healthy future while following a compass set to an outdated past? Because until we understand our attachment style, we don't respond in relationships, we react. We repeat. We reenact. And that's where the liberation begins. Number 2. The body keeps the score. Bessel van der Kolk. If attached gives us the blueprint, the body keeps the score shows us the battlefield. Because trauma doesn't just linger in memory, it settles in muscle, in breath, in posture, in pulse. It becomes the quiet choreography our body performs every time intimacy steps too close. And here's the question the book forces us to confront. What if the fear we feel in love isn't about the person in front of us, but the person behind us? Because the body remembers. It remembers the slammed doors. It remembers the silent treatments. It remembers the chaos, the coldness, the inconsistency. Even when the mind insists, "I'm fine now. I've moved on," but the body replies, "No, not yet." The brilliance of van der Kolk's work is this. He shows that trauma isn't the story itself, it's the state we get stuck in. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And when those states become our second skin, how can we possibly feel safe in someone else's arms? How can we open up when our nervous system keeps whispering, danger, even in comfort? How can we trust closeness when our body has been trained to treat closeness as threat? The book reveals the cruel contrast. We want connection, but we brace for impact. We long to be held, but we prepare to be hurt. We crave warmth, but we fear the burn. And this is where the body keeps the score becomes essential to relationship psychology, because so many relationship issues aren't relationship issues at all. They're regulation issues, nervous system issues, unhealed history issues. It reframes intimacy as something deeper than communication or compatibility, a physiological experience of safety. If your body is at war, your relationships will become battlegrounds, even with loving partners. But the book also offers hope, the kind that doesn't preach, but proves. Healing is possible, because the brain is plastic. The body is adaptive. Connection can be rewired. Safety can be relearned. Healing doesn't erase the past, but it stops the past from hijacking the present. And that's the heart of it. We cannot love freely until we live safely inside ourselves. Number 3. Hold Me Tight, Dr. Sue Johnson. Hold Me Tight shifts the spotlight from the past to the present, from the wounds we carry to the way we reach for each other while carrying them. Sue Johnson gives us one of the most profound truths in relationship psychology. Every argument is a protest for connection. Not anger, not irritation, not pettiness. A protest. A plea. A reaching. And she asks the question most couples avoid. When you fight, what are you really fighting for? Because in love, distance doesn't feel like space, it feels like danger. Silence doesn't feel neutral, it feels like abandonment. And vulnerability doesn't feel soft, it feels like standing unarmored in a storm. Johnson reminds us, we are bonding mammals. We regulate through touch. We settle through tone. We heal through presence. Connection isn't optional, it's oxygen. The pursuer gets louder because they fear being left. The withdrawer shuts down because they fear being overwhelmed. Two different strategies. One identical fear, don't leave me. Her message is simple and stunning. We don't need perfect partners. We need present ones. Not harmony, responsiveness. A relationship is not a fire that burns on its own, it's a flame that must be tended. Through attunement, through attention, through the daily act of turning toward. At its core, Hold Me Tight teaches, connection makes us courageous. Connection makes us honest. Connection makes us human. Number 4, Attached to God. Krispin Mayfield. If the first 3 books decode how we attach to people, Attached to God reveals how we attach to meaning itself. Because before we form romantic expectations, we form spiritual ones. And here's the question, what if your attachment style didn't just shape your relationships, but your relationship with the divine? If love had to be earned, maybe you feel all love must be earned. If affection came with criticism, maybe approval still feels conditional. If warmth was unpredictable, maybe intimacy still feels unstable. Spiritual attachment and romantic attachment share the same nervous system, the same wiring, the same longing for reassurance. Some develop anxious faith, constantly striving. Some develop avoidant faith, keeping distance. Some develop ambivalent faith, approaching then withdrawing. And a few develop secure faith, grounded, trusting, steady. These patterns don't stay in the spiritual realm. They show up in dating, in marriage, in conflict, in closeness. When we stop believing love is something to earn, we stop choosing partners who make us earn it. When we stop believing affection is unstable, we stop mistaking inconsistency for passion. Your spiritual attachment style is your emotional operating system. Update the system, and your relationships finally start running smoothly. Number 5. Wired for Love, Stan Tatkin. Tatkin gives us a radical reframe. A relationship isn't 2 people, it's 2 nervous systems negotiating safety. And he asks the crucial question, are you fighting your partner, or are you fighting their wiring? Your partner isn't overreacting, their brain is protecting them. You're not withdrawing because you don't care, you're withdrawing because your nervous system is overwhelmed. Enter the couple bubble, a shared psychological shelter where both people commit to protecting the us. Inside the bubble, you attune instead of attack, collaborate instead of compete, turn toward instead of turn away. Tatkin breaks down brain styles. The anchor, steady, secure. The island, independent, easily overwhelmed. The wave, expressive, easily triggered. Different languages, one longing, meet me where I am. Relationships don't fail from big blow-ups, they fail from small misattunements, a sigh misread as criticism, a delay misinterpreted as rejection, a tone echoing an old wound. Tatkin's message is clear, intimacy is a skill, a rhythm, a daily practice of protection and presence. When you understand each other's wiring, you stop taking things personally and start taking responsibility for the bond. Number 6. The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. John Gottman. Gottman doesn't theorize about relationships, he measures them. He films them, he studies them until patterns appear. And his research asks, if love is a feeling, why does it follow such predictable patterns? Because relationships don't crumble from conflict, they crumble from disconnection, from unnoticed bids, from unanswered needs, from micro-absences instead of micro-attentions. Couples who turn toward each other small bids for connections stay together 86% of the time. Not magic, mindfulness. Not passion, presence. Then come the four horsemen: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, stonewalling, not sudden destroyers, but slow erosions. Gottman also gives us repair, rituals of connection, fondness, admiration, shared meaning. Love isn't built on grand gestures, but on consistent, gentle ones. Love is a garden. Every interaction waters it or withers it. Number 7. Attached at the Heart, Barbara Nicholson and Lysa Parker. Before romantic intimacy, there was infant intimacy, the cradle where our nervous systems learned whether the world was safe. And the question this book asks is profound. What did your earliest environment teach you about love? Did comfort arrive reliably or randomly? Did your cries bring connection or criticism? Attachment isn't psychological first, it's physiological. It's regulation, co-regulation. Heartbeats syncing with voices and fear dissolving through touch. A secure childhood doesn't create a perfect adult, but an unpredictable one often creates a hypervigilant adult. Children don't learn whether to attach, they learn how. Adults who over-explain were children misunderstood. Adults who cling were children unsure love would stay. Adults who withdraw were children dismissed for needing comfort. These aren't flaws, they're protective patterns. And healing doesn't require erasing the past. Just understanding it. Reparenting the nervous system. Offering yourself the consistency you once had to live without. Because to love well as adults, we must honor the child still living within us. Number 8. The Mountain Is You, Brianna Wiest. Wiest gives us one truth. Self-sabotage isn't self-hate, it's self-protection miscalibrated. And she asks, what if the part of you that ruins your relationships is the same part that once saved you? Sabotage happens when life grows beyond the limits of your identity. When love feels too stable. When safety feels unfamiliar. When affection contradicts your history. The nervous system clings to the known, even when the known hurts. We sabotage by pulling away, picking fights, choosing unsafe partners, avoiding vulnerability, staying busy enough to never be seen. These patterns are not failures, they are fossils. Old survival strategies still living in present-day intimacy. The mountain isn't the world outside you, it's the world within you. You don't conquer it. You become it. You grow stronger than the patterns that once protected you. When you stop sabotaging your stability, you stop repeating your past. Number 9. Passionate Marriage, Dr. David Schnarch. Schnarch cuts straight into the heart of adult intimacy, the battle between connection and individuality, the pull to merge and the equal pull to protect the self. And he asks, how do you love someone deeply without dissolving into them? Most relationship anxiety isn't about the relationship at all. It's about our own unfinished development, our low tolerance for discomfort, our habit of outsourcing validation. Are we seeking partnership or seeking permission? We cling because distance feels threatening. We withdraw because closeness feels overwhelming. We try to control because standing steady feels impossible. These aren't failures, they're adaptations. Immature intimacy seeks fusion. Mature intimacy seeks differentiation, two solid selves choosing each other without fear. Your partner isn't your emotional caretaker, they're your mirror, reflecting the places where you still wobble. Differentiation is the backbone of lasting love. I can self-soothe, so I don't demand you soothe me. I can know who I am, so I can show you who I am. Intimacy isn't collapsing into another person, it's standing firmly as yourself and letting someone see you anyway. Number 10. Anatomy of Love, Helen Fisher. Fisher pulls us into the biological origins of love, the chemistry, the instincts, the evolutionary logic. And she asks, what if the things we call fate are ancient instincts whispering through our bloodstream? Dopamine fuels obsession, serotonin shifts mood, oxytocin bonds us. Romantic love is not fragile, it's one of humanity's most ancient survival strategies. Fisher maps 4 attraction systems. Explorers seek novelty. Builders seek stability. Directors seek challenge. Negotiators seek emotional connection. Attraction isn't random, it's patterned. Heartbreak isn't symbolic, it activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Love shifts from fireworks to warmth, from intensity to intimacy, from spark to safety. When we understand the biology, we stop misreading its signals. We stop confusing chemistry with compatibility. We stop treating our instincts as destiny. Love is psychological, biological, anthropological, a three-layer masterpiece. Understanding those layers helps us love consciously instead of compulsively. So what do these 10 books reveal? That love isn't random, it's patterned. Shaped by our childhood echoes, our nervous system reactions, our biology, our beliefs, our unspoken fears. We love because we want to be seen. We chase because we fear being forgotten. We sabotage because old wounds still whisper warnings. And we fear intimacy because nothing reveals us like being cared for without conditions. But awareness breaks the cycle. It turns reaction into recognition, panic into presence, patterns into choices. When we understand ourselves, we stop repeating what hurt us. We stop confusing chaos for chemistry and withdrawal for independence. We learn to love from calm instead of fear. And maybe that's the heart of it. Love becomes possible when we stop running from ourselves. You're watching Fruity Wisdom, where ideas stay human, even in the noise. Subscribe and stay curious.